message that they can pick up. Otherwise, yeah.
Welcome. That's loud. I think we're going to keep that on just so the people on this side of the room can hear, or maybe we move it to the middle. It's fine. Can everyone hear? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. My name is Dave Prescher. I'm one of the managing partners for Lendio Greater Knoxville, and Zach Smith, my partner. Thank you for coming. We really appreciate the time you've taken out of your day to attend and support the community. A couple things. This is kind of really interesting. Is Lendio started just real quick from our CEO. He won a crowd pitch competition. He won $50,000. And he started, that's 10 years later. Lendio is now $13 billion we've lent to small businesses around the country. And I think how many franchises we have? Like 70?
About 65-ish.
And over here is Corey from corporate Lendio in Lehi, Utah. Came out for the event, so we thank him. All right. Everyone ready to have a little fun?
Yeah.
Everyone's belly's full? Fantastic. All right, first, I want to recognize those in attendance who are veterans, because on the 11th, we have Veterans Day, and it's real important for our country and everything we do, right? Capitalism, freedom, everything we have. It's built on those who gave their commitment to our country. So do we have any veterans in the room? Well, stand up, please. We want to thank you for your service. All right, Zach, what else was I going to say? Because I forgot everything I was going to say. I had it on my phone, guys. All right. Okay, you want to come on up?
Oh, sure.
They forget.
No, well, because it's important, because we got together in a very crazy fashion, but this is really about, not about Lendio, it's about every one of us here in our community. If you think about a circle, and everyone is being a circle, we join in one place, and that's community, right? So this is about supporting our communities. We're very thankful for our judges and our panelists, and we want to continue to support our community with coaching, just thriving in our community is so important, as we all know. So thanks again. I'm going to hand it over to Zach, and then he's going to be our MC for the day. So give him a round of applause.
All right, guys. So thanks for joining us. Can you hear me okay? I feel like I'm whistling. My lisp really stands out on this thing, right? It accentuates it very nicely. So we're here today, of course, to promote small businesses in the community. We're grateful for our presenters. Thank you guys for coming today. But we're also here to raise awareness for Second Harvest Food Bank. So anybody who purchased a ticket today, all of that money is going directly to Second Harvest Food Bank. We also have an opportunity to raise a little bit more for them if you guys want to purchase some additional, make a donation and then receive a ticket for additional chances to win on some things that are coming up. So we're going to have Michael come up and say a quick few words about Second Harvest. So welcome, Michael.
So I was told to show off in Vanna White style the fabulous prizes one of the fabulous prizes that you guys we're having at the raffle that's going on today. As we get together for a little friendly competition in a Thunderdome style, I think
that's right.
I know a lot of you guys are familiar with Second Harvest Food Bank. Some of you are vaguely familiar, some of you are intimately familiar. What I want to share with you is one thing, and that's a big number. 21.8 million. That is a big number. That is the number of pounds that your community food bank, Second Harvest Food Bank, located right here in Maryville, distributes in poundage every single year in our 18-county area. We cover about 8,000 square miles. We work with about 600 nonprofit agency partners, pantries, public schools, civic organizations. A lot of them are churches. But we handle 9 different feeding programs, and it's because of the support of the community that we can do what we do for our hungry friends and neighbors, people down the street. I get this question all the time: what does a hungry person look like? Are they skin and bones? I'm of the age that I remember when I was young watching Saturday morning cartoons that hunger looked like that skin and bones person with flies all over their face. That's not what hunger looks like in this country. We live in the greatest country in the world, and hunger doesn't look like that at all. It looks a little overweight. It looks obese. They are unhealthy, and it's because of what they're eating is a very, very low quality of food. If you think about your household income and you have $30 to feed your family, what are you going to buy? You're going to do what I did in college years and buy the cheapest, most inexpensive, and as much as possible. And if that's what your entire diet consists of, you have health problems. There's all kinds of issues at stake over there. But wanted to say thank you to all of you for coming. I know that your ticket price and what is collected and everything today is going to go to help feed some hungry neighbors of all of ours. Thank you guys for putting this together, and thanks for a moment of saying something. Thank you.
We got it. I'm gonna try to not use this, if that's okay. You guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So this is something that we couldn't do by ourselves, right? So we got great community partners that we work with. Second Harvest is great. We're thankful to have you here. We're thankful to be able to support you. But we've also have a couple of sponsors that help put this on for us. So number one is going to be J.R. Herwig at Trademark Advertising, one of our premier sponsors. Thank you so much. And also Dale Pressure from McGuire Roofing. Thank you guys so much for helping us out and get this put together. And they're not the only ones. We got a handful of some other guys. We got Rarity Bay, the insurance group, David Evans. Payroll boss, he's not here today. Foothills Milling Cafe, they dropped off all the wonderful food today. In Shape Fitness, Luke Odom's not here. Gamma Network, Susan Moser. All right, Matlock Tire Service and Auto Repair, Little River Trading Company, and then Tony Anello with All Star Heating and Air. Also couldn't be here today. But we are grateful for all their help and to get this put on. So what's it all for, right? So what's Crowd Pitch? What is it going to be? What are they playing for, right? So we're going to have 3 presenters that are going to come up here, and they're going to pitch their guts out, right? They're going to talk about their businesses. They're going to put themselves out here and talk about what they got going on in their business, what makes them different, and it's going to be a great time. And what they're playing for is some business services, gift cards, and experiences totaling over $5,000. So that's what they get to win today. And of course, the trophy. Oh, somebody mic this up. It's an actual functioning mic now, I guess. I didn't know that. All right, so this will be trophy. This will be a trophy they get to take home, and they get to be crowned the Crowd Pitch champion. So we're all excited for that. Also, to be able to put this on today, we got our wonderful panel of judges. We got Corey Crane. We got Regina Jennings with Pinnacle, and Mark Shermanek with US Bank. Thank you guys so much. All right, so here's the format that's going to go. So each presenter is going to get 5 minutes to present their business and their ask. We're going to get 3 minutes of Q&A from the audience. So as you guys are watching, just make sure that you guys are thinking about questions to ask. If there's anything that's not clear, you guys will have an opportunity to be able to ask those questions to the presenters. And then our panel of experts, who are already clicking their pens over here, we'll get 2 minutes to give some feedback to the presenters. All right, so here's who we have. So we have Chris and Lynette from Mama C's. They'll be going first. We're going to have Marcus Blair from Omega Digital Solutions. He must be watching right now. He's on Zoom. So poor Marcus is a little under the weather, but he still agreed to present via Zoom. So we're going to do a little digital integration for this crowd pitch. And then Tasha with Southern Grace Coffee. So the giveaways, right? So this is for you guys. This is in the audience. So if you guys were registered and showed up today, you guys get a ticket that will be pulled for one of these gifts today. You also have a chance to make a donation of $10 and get another ticket to be entered to win. So we're going to be doing these throughout the presentations today. So make sure if you guys want to get some more tickets by making donations, please do that. All right. And that's it. Okay. So next thing we're going to do, Corey. So this is going to be an interactive. Like I said, there'll be some Q&A. So Corey's going to get something pulled up for us. Here, I need everybody to pull out their cell phone. Cell phone. All right. Everybody knows how to send a text message? Anybody not know how to send a text message? Dave, can you please help them? Maybe not. All right. Corey, can you please come?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're going to send a text message to 22333. So you're going to open up your text message, type in 22333. That's the number you're going to send to. And then the message you're going to send is going to be Zach Smith, ZACSMITH, 974.
All caps.
I don't think it matters. Yeah, we'll find out. Now, I should let you in. It's going to say, hey, these guys are trying to charge you a bunch of money. We're not going to charge you anything. You don't get any more tickets. No. Now, it should say you joined Zach Smith's session. Everybody getting that back? A couple people? All right, so we're gonna test this out together. This is going to be one word to describe yourself or how you're feeling. And hit activate. There you go. All right, so just go and type in a word, how to describe yourself or how you're feeling, and go ahead and send it in. It's working. Stuffed, all right. Somebody like lunch. Energized, awesome, engaged. All right. All right, so we are going to use the same, so you guys are now in our chat room, and this is what we're going to use to be able to vote for our winner. So later on, after all the presentations, you guys will have a chance to vote, and the voting is going to be completely up to you guys. You guys make the rules. You guys get to pick your favorite presenter and get to cast your vote. And at the very end of it, whoever has the most votes is going to be our crowd pinch champion. Got it? You guys with it? All right. Are you guys excited? Somebody's doing something. Apparently, Moji's like Who's that? Who is this? That's awesome. Oh, man. All right. Let's go ahead and clean that off there. All right. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to invite Mama C's, Lynette, and Chris Moore from Mama C's Gluten-Free Goodies. These guys are going to be our first presenters. You don't need to. Sir.
All right. Hey, how's everybody doing today? Great. Isn't God good? We are so thankful. So we have come to you from Mama C's Gluten-Free Goodies. My name is Chris, also known as Chef Chris. And this is Lynette, also known as Mama C. Go ahead, Lynette.
All right, so thank you again for coming. Again, my name is Lynette. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. If you take a look at the graph here, you'll notice that gluten-free, people that need to be on a gluten-free diet is definitely on the rise in the United States. In 2014, it was 2.4% of the population, and today it's looking more like 5 to 7% need to be on a gluten-free diet for either celiac disease, gluten sensitivity, wheat allergies, and a lot of other health issues that cause them to be on a gluten-free diet.
So this past week was a big one for us. We had a sit down with the Vice Chancellor and the head of Aramark at UT. We are being inspected tomorrow morning by the executive chef and the Aramark Food and Beverage Director for the entire campus. They want us to bring our products across all of their outlets. So, we need to scale up, big time. So we are here to share that and hopefully get some excitement for Mama C's and possibly a little money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to just tell you a little bit about my story and how I got started with Mama C's. I have owned Mama C's gluten-free goodies for almost 8 years now. And my oldest son was diagnosed in 2008 with celiac disease. And then in 2012, my youngest son was also diagnosed. So when we started buying gluten-free products at the grocery store, they were almost inedible. And so I knew I needed to figure out how to bake gluten-free and make my own products. And I did. I created my own flour blend. I retaught myself how to make gluten-free bread because it's totally different. I mastered the art of gluten-free baking. And in 2014, I started Mama C's Gluten-Free Goodies. I started baking right out of my house. I sold my goods at the farmers markets. And after 4 years of doing that, I opened a storefront location 3 years ago. And all 3 years, we've seen a continued growth between 20 and 30%. Even in 2020, we had a 20% growth rate. One of the biggest things is there's a real gap in the gluten-free market in the food space. Of quality gluten-free products. There just is a need for better products. And we hear that from our customers on a daily basis, and they talk about it. And we want to be one of those people that help fill that gap. Our revenue streams that we have right now are our walk-in customer base. We have our online sales. We participate in an online farmers market on a weekly basis, and we also, of course, have our wholesale accounts. Most of the funds that will be, if we're rewarded any funds, most of that's going to be used to scale our business to fill that wholesale space and provide those products that are needed. And that's kind of where Chris comes in. Our families have known each other for many years, and we go way back. And this year, a lot of things aligned, and he came on board. And with his time and talent, he's going to kind of help us grow our business. And Chris is going to tell you a little bit more about those needs. You have 1 minute.
Thank you. All right, so real quick, my life career has been as an executive chef and corporate executive chef for different companies. My last position was corporate chef for Regal. Helped with the Cinnabar concepts and then started planting those all over the country. I would go into markets and make decisions on that. So I do have a little bit of experience on the restaurant side. My whole life was spent out there opening restaurants. So we are very excited about the potential of expanding. So we may not need dough, but we need money. So, and that KNEAD, that's a kind of a gluten-free thing. I mean, I don't know if you've ever worked with gluten-free products, but you don't actually need it. It's quite different. But anyways, we have outgrown our space. We've had to turn away customers. We need $30,000 so we can get some of these things that we need to get into this UT account right away. And then behind that, we are looking for about $190,000 so we can move into a space big enough to take care of all of our needs and then some. But our company seeks to, how much time we got? Seconds, glorify God in all we do. Our unique proprietary flour blend set us apart. We're fast, flexible quality is our market advantage, and delicious products that happen to be gluten-free is what we offer.
Yeah. Now the judge, over here, the panel, we have provided you some of our lemon blueberry cake today. So you can go ahead and try that anytime. That's one of our special cakes we make there at the bakery. All right, we made it.
All right, now we got time for Q&A from the audience, guys. So if you guys would like to ask a question.
Where's your storefront located?
We're located on Chapman Highway. Do you know where the Walmart is on Chapman Highway? We're across the street in that little shopping center behind Pizza Hut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where will the first round of funding go to help you with your growth?
The first round?
First round, you were asking for $30,000?
Yes, sir. Primarily equipment. Well, we are about maxed out. We need more ovens. We need another mixer. We need some things that we can accommodate. We're gonna restructure a little bit of the back of our shop so we can put in another refrigeration space so we can handle what we need. And tomorrow, when we're meeting with everyone from UT, we will be showing them those scale-up plans. And yes, sir, equipment is really where most of that's going.
How far will you scale before you have to leave that location?
You know, we were very candid with them. We told them, we were transparent, we are small. This would be a long relationship. You would help us grow. I told them, and we shared with them, that we felt UT was a game changer in all respects for us, and that they would be taking us on as almost like a project. And so they liked that idea. A woman-owned business is also something that helps them in a lot of what they're doing to promote minorities. So we expect that we would be no more than a few months before we're having to get out of there. No more than a few months.
What array of products are you planning on offering in that deal with UT?
We will probably start small. We'll probably start with cookies. And they did test out our pizza crust that we do. So those are a couple of things that we would start with.
Have you talked about a contract length with UT?
Not yet.
Yes, sir.
How many staff do you have at this point, and when do you foresee that ramping up?
Right now, we have 3 full-time staff besides myself and Chris. And we have 2 part-time people that come in. And then kind of depending on how things go with UT, that'll be determined.
One thing that right now we're closed Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So we got 3 days to look at. Sundays are Sundays are not an option, but Mondays and Tuesdays are. And so for us to scale up by 150, 200% in the next month would be fairly easy. It's getting to where, I mean, UT's food and beverage contract, $50 million, okay? So 0.015% of that $50 million is $750,000. That's 0.015. The average gluten-free take is 3%. So we're scaling at 0.015% of that overall. And that is modest. And that's $750,000. So we are excited about the opportunity. They absolutely loved us. They loved her.
Great.
They
Hey,
really
we're going
did.
to move over to the panel. I have one question for you guys. Is there anything gluten-free in this room?
As a matter of
Is that
fact,
the
there is. If you loved the dessert you ate, the cookies and the cupcakes, we provided those today. And if you didn't, I didn't provide them.
Do you have questions or comments, panel?
Yeah, I think, Chris, one word you said earlier was game changer. I think that's a great way to describe what this opportunity is. And,
Yes, sir.
and one thing you guys did a good job today of was quantifying things that you need to get to the point of this opportunity. So overall, great job and good luck with that opportunity.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, you have a very exciting opportunity. I think that's really awesome. Definitely love to hear more about what you got going on with UT after this kind of comes out, and what kind of contract they're going to be putting with y'all and whatnot. You know, just a quick question for you. You know, with this $30,000 cash injection, is this for the equipment specifically?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And that's your ovens and your mixers and
Yeah,
whatnot?
yeah, and some odds and ends. We need some more rolling racks. We need another, you know, I mean, it's that 200%. So we need just a few more things.
How soon do you need that?
Tomorrow will be good.
Okay. Space. So I didn't know if you had space for the new equipment.
We got some space. You know, nothing's really easy, is it? So we're going to have to do a little bit of electrical. We're going to have to get in there and negotiate with the landlord and hopefully get some help with that. But once we kick that up, should be right in there.
Excellent.
On the rented, so you currently rent your space?
Yes.
And so the $190,000 helps move into a larger space, so it's the $190,000 to move into an entirely new spot and renovate the space? Is that the thought process, or is there a location
There's
currently where you can expand where you are?
There's a possibility that we could expand where we're at. we're still kind of in talks with the landlord about that.
That's your build out.
Yes.
And it gives us an option. You know, there are so many scenarios that can happen from this level, as you know. So, you know, build the suits, are they potential, you know, there's, you know, how much is the landlord willing to meet us in these renovations that have to happen, you know, in that build out? I've seen landlords be very generous and seen some that weren't, so we don't know yet. We haven't crossed that bridge, but depending on how all that goes, we'll decide what we do.
Yeah, I mean, the 30,000 on equipment, I don't think that's a big ask, and looks like it would be doable based on bankers like collateral.
Are you doing it right now?
With the 190,000 on the build out, sometimes that's usually non-collateral based. So on your numbers, have you got a contractor in mind, or I mean?
Here's where we are. So,
I mean, I just wonder where you got your numbers because of the way
Sure.
pricing is right now.
Understood. Well, first of all, we went through the SCORE financial projection worksheets. Did a dozen at least of those scenarios, all kinds of things we were thinking about. And the ones that kind of rose to the top and were probably most doable did include UT at this 0.015 starting rate. So, yeah, the money as far as what happens there, contractors and all that, no. I mean, it's hard to have those discussions unless you're ready to do business. And we're just, we want to do that.
Let's give a round.
Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent, and I didn't bake the stuff you didn't like either, okay? So, real quick, we're gonna do a giveaway right now. Let's see. Kara, please pick, just close your eyes, please, pick a name. Pick one, only one. They can't be you. Robert Smith, $50 gift certificate to Foothills Milling Restaurant. And you can only win one of those, Robert, okay? All right. Zach, you got another one? All right.
This is for a Matlock tire service oil change.
Joseph Cruz.
Joseph Cruz.
Okay. Okay, we're going to move on to our second contestant of the day. Free oil change. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, there he is.
That's right. The man on the big screen, Marcus Blair. So we're gonna see if we can get him all connected up.
Can't hear you. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, so we are good to go. And we can hear you okay.
Yeah. Marcus, give us a test, 1, 2.
Test 1, 2. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
All right, I got it.
Okay, so first off, yeah, I'm Marcus Blair. I am the founder of Omega Digital Solutions, and I'm reporting live from quarantine. So I cannot see can't see the audience. I can't see any feedback. All I really see right now is the little white light on my laptop, which I'm presenting to. So thank you, Zach and David and Corey, for working hard and letting me present virtually so I can still participate in the event. And I hope the audience, I won't be able to see your reaction, but I mean, hopefully you'll enjoy the presentation. So the point of Omega Digital Solutions is that foundationally, we believe in the power of small business, regardless of what vertical it's in. Small business is the backbone of the American economy. Small businesses, they find a way. Omega Digital Solutions was founded to fix one particular problem. That is that technology is the greatest productivity multiplier known today, but most small companies do not take advantage of the technology that's available. The question is why? Why don't the bottom 95% of companies use the available technology? Well, one contributing factor, there we go. One contributing factor is that large corporations are the only ones with the budget and the resources to truly make technology work for them. They can go hire a small army of techies, lock them in a closet, and then tell them to come out when it's finished. But smaller companies, you know, we don't have those types of resources. So Omega Digital Solutions was founded to make the digital transformation more accessible to the other 95%. Now, just as an example, the types of projects that we work on, we just did one for a client in Carolina, where they now receive an email. The computer opens the attachment, extracts the data, sends it to QuickBooks, then QuickBooks fires off an invoice as a response, all without a person ever having to be involved. Now, and it's not really that difficult to do. You just need to know which pieces to assemble to paint the picture that the client needs. So in this presentation, I'm only going to focus on inventory because, of course, it's a short presentation. It's only 5 minutes. So why inventory? Well, common inventories systems, down market inventory systems, they all have a common focus. They're built for retailers. They're built for people who buy a widget for X and then they sell it for Y. And sometimes they budget or they bundle those widgets together. But what about makers? What about someone who buys a 5-gallon bucket of glue and then makes 1,000 widgets? How do they do their job costing? How do they do their resource allocation, their direct labor tracking, things like this? The common inventory systems that are readily available now, like QuickBooks, Shopify, or whatever, they don't do this. So we built Reciprocity. Reciprocity is inventory for makers. This is for people who buy, I don't know, a 75-pound bag of flour or something like that, and then they consume it in batches. So if you get a sheet of wood, it's 100 square feet, and you need 60 square feet to build a table, you can consume 60 square feet of that wood, allocate it to the cost of the table, and then your accountant is much happier with your job costing, and you have a much better picture of your business. So with Reciprocity, you can integrate these solutions to your e-commerce to give you complete supply chain visibility, which is important if you have multiple storefronts. And then, of course, you get all your data right now. And most importantly, there's no installation team required and no lengthy migrations that you have to tackle either. So where are we right now with this product? Well, we invested $50K to develop it in cooperation with our first large client. And now we are ready to go to the mass market. So Reciprocity will be offered as a SaaS offering, and the investment that we're looking for is $250K, and that will help us scale. Now, primarily, we will spend that money on hiring more developers and hiring sales staff. Right now, the sales is also outsourced, and we need to develop more integrations for other products that are currently on the market, like QuickBooks and things like that. And then also we need to build more APIs because we're still reliant on third-party solutions for those as well. So our very first client had not our very first client, our first large client had a 4-month ROI on their inventory project. So when we're seeking investment into Omega Digital Solutions right now, we'll be able to replicate that success thousands of times over for businesses locally and everywhere else. The one thing you have to remember is when you're investing in Omega Digital Solutions, we make a tangible difference in our company's everyday life. Through the services part of our business, we have saved our clients 10, 15, 20 hours of labor every single week by automating their processes. That translates into business owners getting home on the weekends, making kids softball practices and cheerleading practices, which goes directly into the community. So when we receive investment in Omega Digital Solutions, we are able to leverage that return again and again and again with every single client that we work with. And that's the entire presentation.
Okay, so oddly, that felt a little bit more familiar than walking people up here in person, didn't it? Watching somebody on Zoom kind of give a presentation. All right, so what we're going to do is we have Zoom pulled up on this tablet. We're going to mute Corey's. And
Okay, so hold on.
got it. You just tell me when to hit unmute. Does anybody have any questions for Marcus? Oh. Oh, we got somebody.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead and unmute.
first I want to say that I'm with Friends of the Smokies, and I'm one of Marcus's clients.
Nice.
And yes. So hello. And I came here specifically to support him and to let you know that this is a really incredible resource for Blount County. The national park, as you know, brings $1 billion of value to this area. And Friends of the Smokies, as an official nonprofit partner, we provide over 10% of the park's budget. We fulfill the need that they have, the projects that they need funded that otherwise they just don't have the funding for. But we are a small business. We are very lean. We have only a few staff people. And so what we found is that we were getting a lot of advice from people who are in sales. So, people who were trying to sell us things were giving us advice on things that we needed for our technical needs. And Marcus has come in and immediately had an impact on making us more efficient, helping us not make bad decisions, and we look forward to growing with him. And so I say all that to ask this question: how will this product impact nonprofits?
Well, thank you, Sarah. And so for this project will impact nonprofits like Friends of the Smokies. Of course, with nonprofits, you have a wide variety of organizations. We've worked with Friends of the Smokies, we've worked with Family Promise, and a couple of other ones. Whenever we work with nonprofits, it's always about getting the right procedures in place that can easily be replicated from volunteer to volunteer, because there's always a lot of turnover and there's always a lot of churn. So when you have nonprofits that are primarily service oriented, like Friends of the Smokies, for instance, then we'll work through the processes that you have in place, and then we'll make sure we nail down the right items. But then for nonprofits who handle products, or they handle some sort of inventory, or they're distributing something, then they can use Reciprocity to receive those things in bulk, because we can create QR codes and labels and storage systems and things like that for them. So they can take them, they can scan them in, and then they can distribute them out, whether that's via their website, in person, events, or by some other means.
Any other questions?
I have a question for Marcus. Hey Marcus, how are you? So Marcus and I did work together too. So here's my question, because I have interest in this for a potential client. Do you foresee this being more than just inventory management? Can we go into a work in progress manufacturing facility and use that also for purchase orders, payments, etc., or strictly inventory management?
So absolutely. Our first large client, they manufacture their widgets on site, and then it goes from there. It goes off site, it goes to a warehouse, then it goes to another staging location, and then finally to the retail locations. We track everything they make through their entire internal supply chain. So we can track it. We can track it in as many places as you have. And then if it's work in progress where there's different value being assigned to it based on the value add processes before it, then we'll be able to track the value associated with it as well.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, that's time. So now we got some feedback from our panelists.
Hey Marcus, great job. Appreciate you coming out and doing this. You said in the past, technology is a wonderful tool, but it's useless unless the customers understand it and really know how to utilize it. So I think you did a really good job today, just through your presentation, is showing that your team is well capable of simplifying, this technology, simplifying these processes for the businesses. So one question I had is, in the technology space is an extremely dynamic industry. So how does you and your team stay abreast of the pain points for your customers and for their businesses through this dynamic industry?
So that's actually an excellent question, because technology, it advances at an incredible pace. To be perfectly honest, we're not theorists and we're not academics. We're practitioners. So we don't work on technology's bleeding edge. We'll let someone else figure out the proof of concept, case studies, that sort of thing, the feasibility for AI, blockchain, all this other stuff. When you step back from the bleeding edge and you're dealing with more proven technologies, then you can look at something that's very practical. Most of the time when we deal with clients, they call us and they say, we have a problem, but they don't necessarily know what the solution to that problem is. So we keep ourselves grounded into things that are already proven and already working that we can make available to the client, so that when we get that phone call, we can say, okay, here's one solution, or here's another solution, or we can cobble these two things together and we can do this with it, just like we did with the example that I mentioned in the presentation.
One quick follow-up question. On the equity injection you mentioned.
You gotta unmute that.
Oh. One quick follow-up question. You mentioned with the equity injection, the $250,000, talking about hiring salesmen. In this environment with other companies having issues hiring, did you have a strategic approach with that of trying to get more individuals from the hiring perspective?
I tell you what, the hiring environment right now is brutal, which I mean everyone's familiar with. The world of IT is especially tough because everyone's remote. So when I tell you that I lost a developer to Salesforce and then I lost another one to Uber, I am not joking. They literally hire people from across the country and pay them ridiculous salaries that there's just no way that a company like mine can compete with. So when we hire people, we have to hire people that have an entrepreneurial mindset. If they want $175,000 or $200,000 a year, and stock options and pension and all this, I'm not a pension, but retirement, all this other sort of stuff, Omega Digital is not the place for them. We need people who want to build something and who buy into the vision of the company and who want to solve the problem, and not just clock in at 9 and go home at 5 and be a cog in the machine.
Hey, on the 250 that you need, would you need to get that like in stages, or you need it all at time, or was that growth going to like if I can get this much now and then get that rolling and go with little next step, you see what I'm saying, man?
Yeah, so we would be able to accept it in stages. I wouldn't want to take it all up front, just because I would rather sell off as small of a piece of the company as I could. So what we need right now is we need a cash injection to help get us over the hump, get the product to market, get some developers on staff, so that we can finish out those last few features as far as integrations and APIs and things like that. With two developers and one full-time sales guy, we can generate enough monthly recurring revenue where it would be self-sufficient in the not too distant future. But we need enough just to get us over the hump right now. Primarily the services side of our company has provided the capital or the liquidity to get us to the point that we're at right now.
Hey, Marcus. I'm Mark Furman with US Bank. How are you? Hey, excellent presentation. It was really great. Technology is huge and it's growing substantially. I had a couple really quick, small questions for you. First of all, how long have you been in business? And you mentioned that you want to hire more individuals. As far as that goes, what kind of marketing do you have going on right now as far as to grow that area as well?
Okay, so I separated, or I was let go from my company last June. And so I took my severance package and I started the company that became Omega Digital Solutions last September. So it's been 14 months that we've been in business now. And then you said you were asking about marketing as far as recruiting, or marketing as far as products, or marketing for services, or?
This is for your product, as far as marketing yourself to be able to bring in more business, more revenue, more cash.
Okay, so we have contracted 2 outside sales firms in 2 different parts of the country. They work in 2 different ways, and so that's one reason why I would really like to have those functions in-house, as opposed to using outside sales teams. But we just brought them on in October. So we're right about the first month with them. So they're really just now getting up to speed. We had to obviously develop a lot of marketing assets, so they had something to work with. We developed client profiles, brand books, things of that nature, so that they would have source material when they are pitching us to potential customers.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Marcus. All right, we really appreciate that. So as we get going next, we're going to do another giveaway. John, pick a name.
Not looking.
Read it.
Lynette Casaza.
Lynette. Oh, Mama C herself. Matlock treat oil change.
All right.
And because you won, why don't you pick the name and read it out loud, please?
Kathleen.
Kathleen Powers. Where are you? Oh, where's $50 to Foothill Millings for nice dinner. All right. So is there any more opportunity to get some more tickets, Dave? Before our grand prize comes up? There's a gentleman in the back. Michael?
Is that a question for me? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll take money all the way up to the end. If you haven't used the dip jar yet, you just put your credit card in there. It takes about a second and a half. You pop it out. It's $10.
Yeah, big giveaway still coming up. So who's coming up next? So we got Tasha. Where's Miss Tasha at? Tasha's with Southern Grace Coffee. She's going to be our final presenter. So let's welcome Tasha. Let's just remember, now we're going back to in-person, right? So now we got to shift gears. This is IRL. We're back in real life. Okay, with Tasha up here.
But hi, Marcus.
He's there.
He's there. He can hear us.
I'm like, I don't know where to wait. So my name is Tasha Wilhelmsen. I am the owner-operator of Southern Grace Coffee Co. We have been open for a little more than 5 years now, and we've already kind of gone through our growth stage. So bless you, I will be praying. It is hard, it's a lot, but it's so amazing. It's so amazing, and the work is definitely worth it. We started a little more than 5 years ago as a local franchise. Shout out to Artistic Bean. I don't know if anybody knows them, but we were the second location for the Artistic Bean in Townsend. And we loved them. They were amazing. Jeremy Doss owned it at the time, and he was wonderful to us. We realized very quickly it is very hard to be a small business and be a franchise. And so at that time we started praying about what we were going to do next. And we felt like the Lord just told us that it was time to part ways. We could still be friends, still be kind of family really. But we had our own heartbeat. We had our own personality, and Jeremy was very kind and allowed us out of our franchise agreement. So we again went back to praying and tried to decide what is our name then if we're not an Artistic Bean in Maryville. Who are we? And eventually we landed on Southern Grace. We felt like that kind of summed up our personality a little bit. So we were at year 2 at the time, and our lease was up, and we had grown so much in that time. So we searched every property in the city of Maryville trying to find another location, but I had a vision. I knew what I wanted it to look like. I knew how I wanted it to feel. I wanted the layout to be a certain way. I wanted customers to feel a certain thing when they walked in. I wanted everyone to feel welcome, and a house will do that. But to find a house, in the city of Maryville that would accommodate a coffee shop on the budget that I had was really difficult. So we powered through it. And one day, a gentleman called me and he said, "Hi, my name is Harry. I think I have your house." And I was like, "How do you have my personal cell phone?" But he was great, definitely a godsend, and we actually did purchase the home from him. Oddly enough, if you back up about 8 months before that, I don't even know if Harry knows this, we had driven up to that house and walked in and or walked around the property and made a call. And at the time, are you guys familiar with Kaiser and Black? The Kaiser and Black homes? Okay, so we had pulled in one day. Kaiser and Black was in the process of selling that, all as a lump property, right? All these homes were together, and I called and they told me the price of the whole lot, and I was like, I'm so sorry that I called you. I have to go. So, you know, fast forward again 8 months, and Harry calls, and it's one of those homes that him and a bunch of partners had purchased and sold us one of the homes, much more reasonable budget. So we worked so hard. We got that space all cleared up and moved into it, and it is amazing. It is amazing, absolutely amazing. Now I'm going to back up on you again. That's my ADHD. Okay, I apologize, and probably caffeine. So about 13 years ago, I had moved from here and was living in Florida, and my mom passed away here. And so I came up, we went through the whole process, we buried her, and we went back home to Florida. And my husband immediately had to go back to work, my brother immediately had to go back to work, and I sat there by myself, pregnant with a small child, devastated, just completely devastated. And I had become a regular at a little coffee shop, and she treated us like family. It wasn't this feel that you get when you walk in somewhere. I don't know, anybody in here have young children? Okay, so you know if you walk into certain coffee shops with your children, they're like, "Are you staying with the child?" Or so she didn't treat us that way. She really treated us like family, and I needed that. I needed community. We were about to be moving out of the state of Florida, and so we had already kind of began making that transition. She ended up selling her place and moving back to her hometown, and it just grieved my spirit so much. I was like, we all need a Miss Mona to love on us. And so when my husband and I ended up moving back to Maryville, I was a social worker, loved what I did, but we wanted community here. We wanted to be able to fellowship with other people, and more so than the coffee, it was about the community. So we opened the coffee shop and became family with hundreds of people in the area, and we're so grateful for them. So again, the problem is money. We're kind of, oh, did I miss the yellow one? Am I over my time? I'm sorry. That's again the ADHD. Is that okay? Okay, so what we're asking for is we're asking for $30,000, and it is to again grow. We have one roaster. We roast in small batches because I will not give you anything that is just processed. So we want to buy another roaster, and we want to continue to grow what the community loves. This is the picture. These are the pictures of the coffee shop. These are the people who have supported us for years. They've supported us during the pandemic. They're wonderful, and so I want to have a wall that is a family wall, a coffee shop family wall, and so $1,000 would go toward this massive family wall, and you would have all of these pictures that you see of our regulars that have become family, and the rest of it would go toward growth. Another roaster, additional beans to help bring our costs down. If we can buy an entire pallet at one time, then your cost goes down astronomically, and so that's kind of what we're asking for today.
Thank you, so now we have Q&A open, so if you guys have any questions for Tasha.
What's the long-term vision for this? Are you wanting to expand a little more locations and build upon that?
You know, that has been asked a lot, and in the beginning of COVID, we did open a second location, and COVID killed it very quickly, and that was very unfortunate. But I will tell you what happened with that experience was I couldn't love on my staff the way that I wanted to. I couldn't love on my customers the way that I wanted to. So I don't know that it's ever gonna be about a second location as much as it will be what the Heart right here in Maryville can do in the one. Yeah.
If you get a whole pallet of beans, where do you get your beans? Where do you source them?
So there's a company in Minneapolis called Cafe Import, shout out.
Okay.
We love them, they're exceptional.
Okay.
They send one pallet, I wanna say it goes up a little bit if you fill the pallet. We've
Right.
never had the startup to be, or the capital to be able to do that.
Would it be one type of bean, or can you get different types? on
Yeah,
the pallet?
yeah, so it would be all the beans that we offer. So we offer Guatemala, Mexico, Peru, and then we have a mountain wash decaf.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to ask a question.
I thought you were gonna say, I just wanted to have coffee.
You said that 30,000 is to help you purchase another coffee maker,
Mhm.
right? I don't know if I said it right.
It's okay.
And
I'll
the
allow
other-
it.
Right? A roaster, right?
Yes.
So, thinking of that, how does that equate to your return on investment? Like, how will that increase your revenue?
That's a good
And-
question. So, payroll is a significant cost. We are not like most coffee shops. Everything we do is organic. Everything that we do has a different level of care. And most coffee shops, when they roast in huge drums, right? I mean, think Green Mountain or even Vienna. I mean, they have really big roasters, very efficient. But I prefer a small batch roaster because the pH balance stays a little bit more the same. So imagine a huge roaster when you throw your beans in. To get the core temperature to really, the really hot temperature that you need, your walls are scalding. So as soon as you throw your beans in, you burn them, essentially. And we don't have that problem because my roaster, my drum is about this big. Now, it is not very efficient. My roaster is amazing and she does what she can as quickly as possible, but it would help us produce more to be able to bring in more accounts, and then we would have more revenue. Yeah.
It would be the same size of what you're kind of working with?
Yes,
now.
yeah, same size, small batch roaster, just, we would have two. She would multitask.
All right, time for one more question.
I have a question. Would you consider a local vendor to save on shipping and pallet cost?
If there are green beans in Maryville, absolutely. Is that what you're asking?
Probably not. I'm just wondering if you're open to a local vendor for your beans.
Yeah. I mean, we do try to go as local as we can. Like our milk is Cruise Farm, things like that. We love to support other local businesses. I don't know that you can get green beans in the quantity that we would need them here locally at the price that we can get them for fair trade organic. That would be probably the issue that we would run into. Yeah.
All right, panel.
Yeah, I'll go. Okay, so my whole thing goes faith, family, coffee. So what question I had for you, as far as adding that second roaster, is this a larger roaster that you're going to be getting?
No,
About
it would be,
same size,
yeah,
or-
it would be the same size.
And are you looking to do any kind of distributing locally to, like you go into Kroger, it's in there?
Yeah,
and is it-
yeah.
And you looking to do some wholesale stuff with that as well, besides just the coffee shop?
Yes, that's what I mean by accounts. So we sell at Apple Tree, we sell at Maryville Corner Market. We have our coffee in a few different places, but that would let us be able to do a little bit more.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Tasha, excellent presentation, great job.
Thank you.
In your opinion, what is your company's number one competitive advantage to differentiate you from other coffee shops locally?
Yeah, so the love, we love it. We love each other. And I think that definitely sets us apart. We enjoy what we do, and so there's always that element of that just spills over. But I would say a little bit past that is the quality. So our syrups are organic. Our milk is Jersey cow milk from Cruise Farm. Beans are all organic, fair trade. We definitely, even with our baking, commend you for the gluten-free. It's not easy to once you make that transition, but everything we do is gluten-free. And again, we do that at a little bit of a higher cost, but it's better for people. If I have regulars who have children, and if they bring their children in 3 or 4 days a week for a muffin, I want to know that what I'm giving them is the same thing I would give to my children. And so that's the quality that we give them. Sets us apart for sure. Yeah.
How many accounts do you currently have outside of?
So we have, right now, we have about 5 accounts, and the Apple Tree, and then Maryville Corner Market, but then we also have churches that we provide coffee for. Those we do even at more of a discounted rate as opposed to just like a wholesale price, but they would be factored into that. The roaster is kind of an issue that it only, we put about 7 pounds in, we get about 5 pounds out, and it takes about 12 minutes. With cool down time and startup time, you've got about 15 minutes per batch, so it's not very efficient. A second roaster would literally double our capacity, so.
You roast every day?
No, almost. We roast several days a week right now, but still have good. We have a good. If we were able to, it takes several months to get a roaster. So if we were able to set that into motion by the time we got to where we needed to be, then we would have that roaster in place to be able to meet that need.
With the supply chains and different things, have you been looking to know where, if you could get one or not?
Yes.
Yes.
So we work with, again, it's a company out of Minneapolis, and they're side by side. So the roasting company and the wholesale distributor for the beans, we have a really good working relationship with both of them.
Right.
So we would go with the same company that we started with.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's great. Good job.
All right, thank you, Tasha. Corey, can you put up the instructions for voting? All right, so this is going to be back to your part, audience, right? So you've heard all the presentations, you've asked all the questions, you've got the feedback from the panelists. Now it's time to make a decision. So we're going to pull out our phone. Once again, you guys should already be in the chat. There you go. Hit activate. Perfect. All right. So it's time to cast your vote. So pull out. You should be on the same text message that it was earlier. You should be in the room. Hit A for Mama C's, B for Omega Digital, and C for Southern Grace.
Can I vote for more than one?
Where's D, all the above?
Can we vote more than once?
We can't vote it.
Oh, well, you just did.
I think you voted for all 3 of those.
All right, so while you guys are voting, we're going to go ahead and introduce one of our premier sponsors, J.R. Hertwig, with Trademark Advertising. He's going to talk a little bit about what he does over there and how he can help other small businesses. Yeah, you get 1 minute.
Thanks, Zach. I really appreciate you, bringing me this opportunity to be here and to be a sponsor for this. I think this is a great initiative. So I have been a part of other startups in the past from both the perspective of having been an entrepreneur myself and from having been involved in other pitch competitions like this one through UT, where I have my MBA from. And so this is a really exciting, cool thing to be a part of, and glad to be here supporting it. And what we do at Trademark Advertising is we also work with small businesses every day and help them with the growth side of their business. So the way I like to look at it, I think that there are 2 things that any business does, and one is whatever that business does, and then the other is selling whatever that business does. And so the way I look at it, we're there to help our clients with the second part of that piece of their business. So what we have offered to provide today I am flexible with, because as I believe Marcus said a little bit, what he likes to do with his company, Omega, is to come in and work with the business to address the needs that they have. And that's typically the approach that Trademark takes as well. We are a digital first agency, so primarily what we do is we work with our clients to do branding, brochures, website development, and then digital marketing is our specialty. And we have grown in that area in terms of primarily what we call leads generation, but also with various clients that are business related, that are nonprofits. We've helped through helping nonprofits to get different programs that they need to get in more clients for. We've helped them bring in more clients because you know, there's only so many times and things that their staff can do on their own, so we like to bring them that expertise and then the implementation to do that type of thing. So that's a little bit about us. I have already been handed the winner, so without further delay, I'm going to let you guys know who we have today. Can we get a little bit of a drum roll on? The winner of this year's FullVideo Crowd Pitch event is Mama C's Gluten-Free Bakery.
That's my daughter.
Zach, are we all right to de-mic the mic?
Yes. Well, we're going to take the mic and get it personally engraved and deliver it another time. So
Okay.
we'll have Mama C's engraved on there so that we can commemorate forever
Oh, wow.
your crowd pitch win.